From school construction to being on the Charleston County School Board, I sit down exclusively with Charleston County School Board member Kevin Hollingshead for a special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores. And listen to this interview later on the free Quintin's Close-Ups iHeartRadio podcast. Kevin Hollinshead, it's so good to see you again.
Hey buddy, how's everything going?
Great, busy as always.
Yeah, I see you becoming a popular man now.
It's all the grace of God and Jesus Christ in heaven.
Yes, sir.
Oh, absolutely. I know that I haven't seen you in a while. Catch me up and tell me what it's like to be calling Kevin Hollinshead that is these days.
God, why did you ask that question? I'm at a point in my life, being a single parent for 13 years. My wife was an educator and passed away from cancer. Raising 3 kids. My baby boy is going to college.
I saw on Facebook.
He is excited about attending Benedict College, historical black college. I let him make his own choice. It was between South Carolina State and Benedict, and he also entertained some other schools that he just said it wasn't his fit. And he got a full academic ride at Benedict. Doesn't have to play football, wants to be a teacher, and like his mom, and also wants to be a coach. So I'm kind of touched, mixed emotions. He's the last one going off. I worry about him. He was only 3 years old when his mother passed away and did not know her. But it's a good time for me, a change in life.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
You obviously talk about teachers, you talk about Benedict College. Let me talk to you about the Friends of Benedict Gala fundraiser, which is going to happen August 17th next week, Friday, at the Gilliard Center. And there's a host of notable people coming for this. You have Dr. Artis, President of Benedict College, Eric Watson, Chief Deputy for the Charleston County Sheriff's Office, David Bennett, CEO of the Charleston County Parks and Recreation Commission, Dr. Gary Burgess of Anderson County School Board, Sandy Senator, Chip Limehouse,
Yes.
Senator Darrell Jackson. Why this? Why now?
Well, I told God, going through my trials and tribulations of losing a wife, I want to continue to make an impact to the Charleston community and to our state. My wife labored so much teaching kids. She was a product of Benedict College, a great teacher, and would take our hand-me-down clothes and give them to children that did not have it at Mitchell Elementary and Progressive Elementary where she taught. And it has been a tradition in my whole family to serve mankind. This gala is that extension of me and my alumni of Benedict College and my community. We brought together alumni, community leaders like Joe Bowers, Kristen LeBlanc, other leaders, John Steinberger, Bobby Harrell, and all came together to try to impact the community. When you look at the situation today of our community in the North Charleston, you saw this morning of another murder, some things that leaders like Robert Ford and others have said that we have to work hard to educate and provide job opportunities for our community. There's only 2 ways of doing that: technical training and also 4-year degree education. Well, we have been pushing technical training for the last 4 years because of Boeing, Daimler Chrysler, other entities here, but just recently in the New York Times stated that there's still not enough jobs being met with a 4-year degree. So, college does a lot of things. It allows someone to mature, to grow, to meet new friends, and sharpen themselves for society. One of the things Benedict College has done for me over the years, When I went there, I was green. I had instructors like Dr. Latta Thomas, James Boyd, Dr. Kriegler, and you know, that basically challenged me. I'm not gonna lie to you, when I went to school, I went there for partying. And those guys straightened me up and said, man, if you don't party, if you don't stop partying, you're going back home. And I got my act together, made the dean's list one time, and continue on to grow. I owe a lot to my family upbringing, but I also owe a lot to a school that cared and nurtured me. Benedict College has been an institution that's taken that coal and polished it, refined it, and made it into a diamond. My classmates that I graduated with, I can go back and look at Dr. Darrell Best. He's a doctor. We have some other individuals out west that are doctors. Reagan Mitchell, that became a chemical engineer for, I think it was Amoco at the time. There were a lot of great people that came out of HBCUs that have contributed to society that I'm very proud that I can hang my hat on. You know, everybody thinks that you have to go to Harvard and Yale. That's not necessarily true. You can get that at a Wofford, at a Claflin, at a Benedict. You know, it's just up to the individual and what they want to achieve.
What is the state of HBCUs right now in your mind?
We're still holding on. Dr. Artis is that diamond that the Board of Trustees picked up. She's a corporate president. She was president of Florida Memorial, set records there, raising funds, improved the academic structure. She came to Benedict hitting the ground, running. She was a physical conservative. She looked at the bills, saw what she needed to cut, and she started making cuts to make sure that the district, college institution ran smoothly and effectively. She started improving areas that needed to be improved. Right off the bat, she spent numerous of hours studying the institution. That's the mark of a great person. She brought in a capital fundraiser individual, Ms. Burgess, and they're hitting the ground raising money for the institution. She's putting Benedict pride first. I think that is the sign of a great leader. She's a great mother, a great wife to her husband, has fabulous kids, and you can see that when you watch her profiles and also in her daily life. She balances them very well.
And obviously, besides the gala fundraiser, obviously there's going to be education summit on that Saturday.
Yes, the summit will be at the Charleston Math and Science. You have Dr. Artis, Eric Watson, as we all know from the Sheriff Department, Michael and Tracy Landry from Bulk Bridge, Mississippi. They were on the CBS News about 9 months ago, highlighted there. They have a private school in that town where they started from kindergarten in a warehouse, from kindergarten to 12th grade, educating African American youth. Now, they were educating the best of African Americans.
Okay.
They were educating the kids that are single family homes, had problems within their lives. They've taken those kids and they showed and proven with the academic structure that they can improve those students' lives. They did like a peer teaching kind of environment. Right. They kids have graduated from there, exceeding on the testing of SAT and ACT scores. They have gotten into Dartmouth, Yale, Harvard, the top Ivy League schools across the country. If that can be done there in that small town, we can achieve those kind of goals in Charleston County. We're bringing them here to give them testimony of what they have done, hoping to inspire other leaders that it could be reached here in Charleston.
You talk about Charleston County, I gotta take you to 75 Calhoun. What is going on down there? There's headline after headline after headline from a consultant being paid, close to $100,000.
Start there.
Well, I'm talking about news here.
I love you anyway.
To now surveys about you guys, to the first day of school. Where do you begin with this?
Well, you know what? When you interviewed me a year ago, a couple years ago, I can tell you I'm one of 9. We're at an extreme disadvantage with the 3 of us, Michael Miller, Chris Collins, and myself, that understands serving the public and working for the public. We have the other board members that basically look at, put my hand over my eyes, and we'll push that can down the road. I did not agree when I saw that of paying the consultant $188,000. No other board member has not brought it up yet. No justification for that. So I just sit there and watch. I learned, God does things in His time. We can fake preaching, or we can be about the Word. Nobody's perfect, but I know one thing. I learned this from my own mistakes.
Okay.
You can hide and push that can down the road all you want. It's going to come back and get you sooner or later. And I just told a good friend the other day, they were talking about some good things with the district, and I applaud that. But I also say those things that are hidden are still going to come around. It's just best to face it and be honest with it, and be honest to the public. The business of the district, to be honest with you, it's not about educating kids. They can say that all they want. It's about this big corporate entity that moves $1 billion within Charleston County, and you got a lot of people trying to get their hands on that $1 billion. And I hope and pray that my tenure there, whether it be 1 term or maybe 2, it won't be no more than that if it happens, that we can put concentration right now into the poverty areas to improve the academic structure for our kids. That's why, again, we bring Mike and Tracy Landry here. African Americans have to lead. You can't buy an African American and give them $150,000 or whatever and think they're going to lead. You have to get those people that God has chosen and God has worked with and has a record in their community of leading, like our good friend Shakim, Jesse Williams. Those guys are up and coming leaders that really care about what happens in their community.
And another developing story coming out of 75 Calhoun is about this principals meeting that a lot of people, including yourself, weren't invited to. Talk to me more about that.
Well, the superintendent invited the chairwoman, Kate Darby, and Vice Chair Eric Mack to a principals meeting. And we had calls that it was actually to help them in their reelection bid. They pointed out on paper things that they have done for teachers and principals throughout the district to improve the quality of life for education for them. But would not give them the copy to take back with them. They took it back up and vowed them not to even speak about the whole meeting. You can't use taxpayers' dollars or campaigning issues in that manner. Neither of the 7 other board members have been invited to a principals meeting. We have not been asked to address staff in that manner, which I don't think I would. But this is just a suicide effort and an attempt to re-elect 2 people, which I think, the general public is not going to like that at all. I've been hearing about that the last couple of days. People have been calling me about it and asking me, and it's kind of embarrassing. I mean, again, I say this, when you go down the road of sin, my pastor always told me, when you're doing wrong, even though you know you're doing wrong, you're not going to recognize it until it finally stops and hits you in the face. And that was one that was blatantly wrong. It was a campaign stunt, just like the issue with the doors, without going to the proper vetting of the board.
And if we go to that survey, the Low Country source reports this, quote, a recent survey compiled by the Charleston Teachers Alliance, CTA, an advocacy group representing teachers in Charleston County School District, rated the 9-member school board as ineffective.
it would be ineffective if you're not not listening to all your board members, trying to make them feel comfortable in their decisions, respecting them. When an issue comes up, work it through. I can remember when I got on that board, it was like WCW. It's either they was like, do what I say, don't do what I do. You need to walk in a straight line and don't say nothing. Soon as you articulate your opinion about something, then they pounce on you. It's sad. I mean, you're elected by the citizens of Charleston County. You're not elected by staff or the superintendent. You're beholden to the public. Special interest groups, I understand them and I respect them, but the citizens are what move this county. The citizens' tax base is what drive the school district, not special interest.
And let me get to security for the kids. Obviously, there has been a big debate about bulletproof doors. Where are you in this discussion?
Well, I'm always for securing and protecting our students. That is the first and foremost thing. I was shocked and kind of bewildered when I saw the press conference a few weeks back when the chairperson and the vice chair held a press conference of supporting the door issue without vetting it through its normal process. The normal process is to go to the operation committee of Michael Miller. The board members sit in there and they talk about it, and then we decide what we're going to do. It was a gift, a test pilot. Well, I won't get into the thing about test pilots, but you have to make that process fair. The door issue may be a viable issue, but it has to go through the normal process of going through the committees and then brought to the full board, even if it's a gift. State procurement says we can't even do that. We violate a lot of things just to make people happy. I think the metal bulletproof doors may be an issue that we can use on the exterior doors of the school because those are volatile entry points that you need to have secure. But it's something the whole board has to take process in. I'm not ruling it out, not ruling it in, but it's discussion for the whole board. I think Michael Miller has taken the initiative now to put that on the table to be vetted and talked about.
And let me take you to school construction. Paul Bowles of the Post and Courier reported this on July 17th, that the price tags on 4 school construction projects in Charleston County soared by a combined $28.9 million yesterday. The school district says the busy construction market is to blame. Who is to blame?
Well, I tell you what, the market here is going off the chain. Construction companies pop up in Charleston County now, threefold. We have a robust market for construction. When that happens, when people say, do I take, just give me an example, a 20% commission with the school district of building the school versus a 35% in the private market, where do you think they're going to go? They're going to go to the private market. Our operation director, I think, is doing a pretty good job, the best that he could. But, I'm not happy with the diversity issue when it comes down to, we have construction companies like Calvin Whitfield Construction, Nate Spells out of Columbia, Paragon out of Charleston, Orangeburg. There's a couple of more Atlantic South consulting firms that can partner with other firms like maybe Trident Construction or someone to build our schools. Mashburn, we can do all of this stuff locally and work it out. But, we in turn don't take the time to work what's within our community to strengthen Charleston. The market is great now, don't get me wrong, for those firms that are coming in from out of town. But when that market slows up, we have to make sure the local boys are strong.
And are you satisfied with the current chief financial officer of the Charleston County School District?
Mr. Kenny's a good guy.
Okay.
I didn't like how the superintendent brought him in. That is not to say he's a bad guy.
Okay.
Again, you know, we got to stop breaking the rules, playing games. Because as I sent an email out the other day and folks got mad, I don't like anybody, for the words, pimping my people, to get issues or problems off of your back. You know, I don't think a CFO going through the normal process would not have taken that job without an audit. That's just common sense. Every financial guy I talked to throughout district, throughout the state said when they take a job, they got to do a clean bill of health before they take over. That process was circumvented. So I think that's something that's going to pop back up later. May not be while I'm here, maybe down the road. You got it in the video now. I'm saying that it should have been done the right way. Mr. Kennedy is a good guy. I think he's going to do some things for the African American community and everybody that is great and beyond what we normally have been doing, but it should have been vetted the right way.
Kevin Hollingshead, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate this.
You got me with the school board stuff today.
I gotta do it, Unless they won't take me serious. But thank you.
Thank you, man.
Anytime.
Take care.
Likewise.